Hey, what's going on, guys? Gonna give it a few minutes and then we'll go ahead and get started. Let me know how you guys can see the screen, if it's clear for you all right now. I want to make sure the streaming quality is good. Hey, what's going on, Ed? Good to see you here. Always a pleasure. For those who don't know, Ed is quite the trader. He's very, very good. Awesome, Ed. Appreciate it. GM Glitch, good to see you here as well. Some familiar faces as always. What's going on, Saad, Jojo? Hey, anytime, Ed. Just got to give credit where credit's due. What's going on, Zalon? Good to see you here. It's going to be a good stream, guys. I'm going to give another minute or two, let everyone else get in here, and then we'll cover a lot of good things. There's a lot of catalysts coming up over the next few weeks, so we're definitely going to go over them. My view of the market, I remain tentatively bullish, and we'll talk about why, but potentially may have a little pullback here, but nothing too crazy. Hey, what's going on, Josh? Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I try to give you guys as much good info as I can. As long as that comes across, then my mission is done. Zal, the stream will be 1 hour long. So expect it to go on for an hour from now, plus or minus a few minutes. So if you guys have any questions, ask them and I will answer them along the way. What's going on, Adrian? Good to see you here. Familiar face as well. Jojo, what do you think about Monad? Monad is interesting, Jojo. I have friends on both sides, bullish and bearish. I know that one of them, Tyrell, the crypto king, he was actually very bullish on Monad until I think he sold near the top, actually, near 4.8 cents. And since then, I think he's been out of it. But it just depends, right? Like the game is all based off attention, off of hype. And yes, Monad could have the best tech in the world. Are people going to use it? Is it feasible? Will it maintain that hype? These are questions that you guys have to ask yourself. And if not, then is it going to start bleeding like most new launches after the initial week of hype? So we'll go over the chart, though. I'll go over the chart of Monad. I'm not saying I'm bullish or bearish. I'm just saying I'm a realist, right? And so if it starts losing major support levels, then I'll turn much more bearish. What's going on, Luca? Good to see you here. Rich, Jim Hunter's to the top. There you go, Rich. Absolutely. Cool, guys. Also, before I start, 26 viewers, 6 likes. If you guys could like the stream, that'd be amazing. It's going to help push the stream out to the masses, get us to the top of those YouTube suggestions. No problem, Jojo. Without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So, looking at CoinGlass, the past 24 hours of liquidations, 109 million. Pretty much split down the middle. 51 million of longs and 58 million of shorts have gotten liquidated. What does this mean? This means there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. Obviously, we just had the holidays. And with that said, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you guys spent it with friends, with family. You had a good time. You touched some grass. You chilled out a little bit. I know that I needed a little break, honestly. We've all been hitting it pretty hard over the past few months, and the market has really tired out a lot of people. So we needed that holiday break. Hopefully you guys are reset now. Come December, it's going to be hit the ground running, guys. It's going to be a lot of big stuff, a lot of money to be made in December. And we're going to go over that and a lot of opportunities. But that's all that this is reflecting. It's reflecting that this is the weekend. We had the holidays. Everyone's touching grass. Not too much liquidations going on. And obviously uncertainty with the long and shorts basically being even. Now, excuse me. With the liquidation levels, the 1 week, this is a tad concerning. I only say that because there's not as much liquidity to the upside. We got maybe some near 93K. But the majority is down below 90K. Now, I say this is a little bit of a negative, but at the same time, this is telling you where price wants to go. It tells you what good levels of support there are to bid, and that is at 90K and just below it. So for longs, I would suggest placing some limit longs below 90K, like 89, 89.5, around there, catching those wicks before it curves back to the upside. I think it's a great, great opportunity there. Now, on the flip side, you go to the 24-hour, and look at that. We got some liquidity near 92.3K. So not to say we are not going to go there first, but you can see here 90.4K. There's liquidity just below where we're at, guys. So it makes sense to tag below 90. Get a little people bearish again. Oh, no, yep, we lost 90. That's it. Because 90 is the line in the sand for a lot of people. 90K has been defended very, very strongly. We lose that, maybe we'll have a wick to 89, 88.5 before bouncing. But nonetheless, there is some liquidity to be tagged near there. So what other things are going to happen? I think we're going to probably tag around 90K, a little bit below, then bounce all the way up, and then tag these higher levels. But let's see. So James Hunt, you did not miss much. You did not miss much. I was just wishing everyone Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, and talking about what we're going to cover today. So yeah, we actually just started. Josh says 100 billion of shorts are sitting at 100K Bitcoin. Awesome. What's going on, Lord Wavy Bone? Good to see you here. Gabriel, what's the easiest way to make money online? Find some e-com business. I know Luke just launched his e-com society. Maybe check that out. There's a lot of different AI tools you can use. A lot of good stuff. What's going on, Ignacio? Good to see a lot of people here. Rich Boy with the Luke love. There you go. All right. Let's go ahead and cover some big news items. Now, here's something else I want to ask you guys. And because I don't think many people are aware of this, but I'll ask it anyway. Were you guys aware that Ethereum has its Fusaka upgrade December 3rd? If you guys were aware of this upgrade that's happening December 3rd, type a 1 in the chat. If you were not aware of this upgrade happening December 3rd, type a 0 in the chat. Let me see ones and zeros. If you were aware of the upgrade, 1. If you're unaware of the upgrade happening December 3rd, place a 0. Again, you have to be known. You have to already have known about it and the date. You had to know about the specific date. If you didn't know about the specific date, place a 0. But if you did, place a 1. I want to see. So we have Ed, Jojo with a 2. Let's see, 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay, so I would say about 50% knew about it. 50% knew about it, that this upgrade was happening. And this is why I want to have this thought experiment here, because if you think about it, whenever you have an event that half people don't know about, it can still be a catalyst in and of itself, right? Because an event that everyone knows about, that ends up being a buy the rumor, sell the news event. But an event that no one knows about, it ends up being a what? It ends up being a maybe buy the rumor, but also buy the news. You see what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, the Petra upgrade pumped 58% over the next month and a half after it happened. I know you can't see that. Let me hide this real quick for you guys. You see that? Petra upgrade, 58%. And then the Fusaka upgrade, where's that happening? Now, someone asked, what's a Fusaka? Funny enough. It's going to mean Ethereum's going to have faster blocks, cheaper gas, smarter scaling. Price lags fundamentals, guys, but not for long. Okay? Think about that. Think about that. Sprockos with the heart. Sprockos, always good to see you, man. A lot of good familiar faces in here. Suckwinder says, hello, brother. I have a shorted Pippin now at 14.5 and the lick value is 36. Is this valid? Please let me know. Just be careful shorting memes, guys. That's all I would say. Just be careful. Just be careful. Maximilian is a new all-time high coming. Ooh, I don't know about a new all-time high. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think maybe lower highs, maybe in the future. All right, cool. So even less than 50% knew about this upgrade happening December 3rd. So that tells you a lot of what I need to know. Thank you guys for participating in that. Also, before I continue, 47 viewers, only 16 likes. If you guys could like the stream, that'd be awesome. And I will continue to share alpha with you guys. So let's talk more about what's going on. Also, Brian Johnson, he's doing a little experiment there, funny enough. But let's go ahead and go over Watch Your Guru. Okay. So what has happened in the past week? Because there's been some stuff that's happened. Well, we had Polymarket securing CFTC approval to operate fully as an exchange for U.S. retail users and brokerages. Guys, this is huge, okay? Polymarket is a betting platform. Polymarket is a prediction platform, just like Kalshi. Kalshi, I believe, since inception, it's had over $19 billion in volume. It's just getting started. Polymarket now is calling for an 88% chance of a December rate cut. This is huge, guys. This is huge. This means that it's basically a certainty that Jerome Powell is going to cut rates in December. So obviously the front running has already began. But what is he going to say, right? Remember, what other things do we have happening? What do we have happening December 1st tomorrow? If you guys checked my X account, you would know I posted a lot about it here. Make sure you guys are checking it out if you haven't. I said 92.8K is the big level to watch for Bitcoin. If we close above that, then 96K is likely. But December 1st, guys, Powell's speech and quantitative tightening ending. Make sure you guys watch this. Thing's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, December 1st. December 3rd, the Fusaka upgrade. December 5th, PCE data. And then December 10th, FOMC meeting, 88% chance of a cut. I'm telling you guys this so that you can see how much stuff we still have to look forward to, because crypto is all based off attention, all based off a catalyst, all based off of narratives. If you can shape the narrative, you can shape the price and front run it accordingly. So it doesn't mean we're not going to have a pullback before then. Yes, we're definitely going to have a pullback. But in my opinion, it's going to be short-lived. Something to keep in mind there. So, yeah, Powell's speech tomorrow is going to be interesting. I'm going to be watching that. So definitely let me know what you guys see. Let's see. James says, bro, why is my question being blocked? I've been trying to say that, LOL, and now it pops up on his stream. That's weird. Oh, that's funny. Let's see. DHMHT says, hello, brother. Always good to see notification of the live stream. Appreciate it. Bitfinex longs, question mark. I need to look at the longs, actually. And then what do you think about NVIDIA outperforming Bitcoin? Do you think AI stocks are a better investment than crypto? We'll actually talk about this during the charting platform. So Lucky Luke, save that question. Spirakos, save that question. And then James Hunt says gold will skyrocket. Yeah, I think gold's going to still do very well. So a lot of good questions, guys. When we get to the charting aspect, I'll definitely go over the AI stuff, NVIDIA stuff, Bitfinex longs, and more. Great questions. But yeah, if you guys aren't following me on X at the CryptoData, definitely do so. Have a lot of good content on here. Check my pinned message. Check my recent charts and quotes that I've been posting. Post a lot of motivational content. So definitely, guys, follow me if you have not. Now, let's get back to the news. So we mentioned that the CFTC was basically green-lighting Polymarket to operate fully as an exchange for U.S. retail users. Now, prediction markets are the future, whether you believe it or not. So, in my opinion, again, there is a lot of stuff going on, right? A lot of stuff going on with prediction markets, and it's only a matter of time before it gets started, right? That's the biggest thing, guys. That's the biggest thing, is it's only a matter of time before it starts. So I would just say be mindful of that. All right? Be mindful of that, and know that if you... Sorry, getting a quick message real quick. All right. All right. So, yeah, Polymarket's going to be the future, guys. And Kalshi and other prediction platforms. And so, yes, you can make a lot of money with this, but just be mindful that they're risky, okay? I will say this, because while, yes, you can make money on prediction, like basically interest rate cut is a certainty, 88%. So, yes, you can make maybe 12% or more if you bet this. What if it's not a certainty? Just like whenever it was at 22% of a 25 basis point decrease, 22% chance, and then it shot up to 88, right? So these things are volatile, so just always be mindful. If you have certain information, then yes, obviously it can be an asymmetric bet, but just make sure you're playing your cards right on that. Hexstar says, my GF loves your content. Awesome. Appreciate that, Hexstar. It means a lot. See, Mental Master says, love you, Luke. Appreciate that. So I'm actually John Luke, not Luke Belmar. We sound similar, a little different, but nonetheless, the love is always appreciated. All right, let's go ahead and check some more news items. Now we have Kevin Hassett is now President Trump's top choice to replace Jerome Powell's Federal Reserve chair. Whenever this guy gets elected, if he is, you know he's going to pass whatever laws that Trump wants, or, you know, inject money into the economy, cut interest rates, etc. So in a sense, it'll be turn the money printer on for a few months while this guy is in office. So that's something as well to look forward to. Now, Jerome Powell's term doesn't end until May of next year. Can Trump fire him before then? Technically, no. But if he finds just cause to do it, maybe. So that's something to watch. Also, you had Texas become the first state to buy Bitcoin, investing $10 million into their strategic reserve. That's very good. They're going to set the example for other states moving forward. Also, you have White House saying tax refunds in 2026 are projected to be the largest ever. Again, another very bullish catalyst there. And you also have JP Morgan saying the S&P could reach 8,000 in 2026. So that's good. And then also you have Tether becoming the largest independent holder of gold. Now this is hilarious because when you have Tether, who is historically known for, you know, being, say, collateral, but, you know, backed 1-to-1 to the dollar, but also being used to transact with Bitcoin, and now they're the #1 holder of gold. And so that also lends credence to the fact that James Hunt is saying gold will skyrocket. Gold has already done very well. Gold is almost near all-time highs again. I mean, it had a huge bounce near just below 4,000. Now it's already, what, 42.15? So Tether's onto something, right? What Tether's doing is hedging their bets here. They're basically backing their Tether with gold, right? Like a 1-to-1 with gold, like the 70s when it was the gold standard before Nixon changed it. And so you're seeing a lot of interesting things happen, a lot of fusion happening between the Web 2 and Web 3 space, between TradFi and crypto. Very cool to see that. Also, we had JP Morgan expects the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates in December, just like we predicted there. And then Trump saying the U.S. may completely cut income tax due to tariff revenue. Guys, this is very, very bullish because think about it. If he cuts income tax, people are going to have more discretionary income. What do they buy with their discretionary income? New phones, other risk-on assets like crypto, right? Just got to use your imagination on that one. Not to mention Trump's $2,000 stimulus mid-2026 for people making less than $100,000. Again, very good. What else do we have? We had silver reaching all-time high of $55. Precious metals, guys. Precious metals. It's insane to see the run, but you can't fight it. Look at silver. Look at gold. Look at palladium. Look at uranium. Not a precious metal, but is a renewable energy source that's getting more popular. And also Trump says he will keep the stock market at all-time highs. Guys, all-time highs for the stock market. Trump is saying that. Let me tell you why. A couple of reasons why he's saying that. One, I mean, he's doing it. But two, think about this. Midterms are November 2026. What do you think Trump wants more than anything? He wants to reelect his constituents. So if midterms are November 2026 and the stock market is doing amazing and big businesses are doing amazing, institutions are doing amazing, you don't think it's going to help get those constituents elected again, reelected, right? It's all a game, guys. And you have a chance to ride on the coattails of the market. So that's why I said back to the grindstone, pedal to the metal, and get ready for December, January, February, March. It's going to be a wild ride. Also, we had U.S. Black Friday sales reach a record $11.8 billion, up 9% from last year. Why is this important? It's important because people have more money to spend. Even if they don't, they are spending more. This tells you people want to spend money. What better place for them to spend money than online, but also crypto as well. Eventually, we will see some of that come back. Also, we have Michael Saylor hinting at buying more Bitcoin. Quote, what if we start adding green dots? The only thing I don't like with this is if Michael Saylor buys more Bitcoin, usually it means a local top is in because institutions use him as exit liquidity. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes, right? So there's something to keep an eye on there. Also, you had White House advisor Hassett saying he'd be happy to serve as a Fed chair if President Trump picks him. So again, more confluence there. Then we had Elon saying Bitcoin is a true currency based on energy. You can't legislate energy. How about that, guys? Very, very good interview there. Very good interview. And then he said, Elon said, working will be optional in less than 20 years because of AI and robotics. Let me take another poll, guys. I love taking these polls. If you didn't have to work and you could get universal basic income because AI is working for you, let's say, and let's say you got paid $4,000 per month. You didn't have to do anything. Would you take that offer? 1, if you would take that offer, or 0 if you would not, and instead work for yourself. 1 or 0. You can't have both. Either you apply for this program, AI works for you, you get UBI, $4,000 per month, or B, you work for yourself, obviously just like the current world. 1 or 0. 1, you would take that. 0, you wouldn't. 0 is right off the bat. True entrepreneurial mindsets. I like it. I like it, guys. And that tells me everything I need to know. That tells me regardless if working is optional, we work, 1, because we want to, but we want no limit, right? We want the limitless ceiling. Oh, a couple say 1. 1 says both. Okay, so if you would take that. So let me tell you what I think, guys. Well, yes, it would be amazing to not work at all and just get a little paycheck. The thing is, guys, there's 2 things I want to mention for this. And it's kind of a tangent to what we're talking about now, but we'll bring it back. If you don't work and you just get a $4,000 check every month, it sounds amazing, right? Especially if you guys are younger, especially if you're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. But let me tell you what's going to happen. 1, you're going to get complacent, right? You may start becoming more lethargic, or you may start becoming more lazy because you don't have to work, right? Maybe you get into drugs. Maybe you start gaining weight. Maybe you start playing more video games. And then I'll tell you what's going to happen. Because you're not working, you're going to feel a lack of purpose because you're not doing anything. You're just playing video games and you're letting yourself go. And then that lack of purpose is going to turn into anxiety. Then anxiety is going to turn into depression. And then you're going to see, oh man, I need to start doing something, man. And this is why, and you're saying, that sounds crazy, man. Why would I be depressed if I'm not working? If I'm earning $4,000 a month? It sounds like a dream, not to do anything. Are you kidding me? It does sound like a dream, right? But then you look at these rich people, these people who have accomplished all their goals, but they're still yearning for more. They still want to do more because they want that purpose in life. And purpose is what's going to drive, what drives everyone, honestly. Because you can be retired for a certain amount of time, but after a few months, there's only so many places you can travel, there's only things you can do before you're like, man, I just want to do something, right? And that's the biggest thing, guys, is always have some type of other, even if it's just a hobby or job, something. Always have something that you're doing, okay? I'm not knocking anyone. If you guys want to do the $4,000 a month UBI, fine. But just have something else you're doing on the side. Don't just be lazy and say, okay, yep, I'm getting $4,000 a month. I'm just gonna play video games. That's it. No, guys, still take care of yourself. Health is wealth. Health is the true wealth. Spend time with family. Focus on your health. Do something else. Maybe give back to charity. Maybe start another e-com company. Trade a little bit of crypto on the side, right? Like, there's things you can do, guys, to earn more. And so just something to keep in mind there. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see when AI takes over, when AI is working for most people. Let's see, a few other things here. Exodia says, CryptoData, hello. You think the 4-year cycle is broken or still in the tank? You know, hard to say. Tentatively, I think it may be broken. It may be broken. And well, here's the thing. We're gonna have to see if that 50 weekly EMA, if Bitcoin closes below it for a few more weeks. If it doesn't, cool. If it breaks above, awesome. Bull market's still on. But if it does, cool, bull market's still on. If it doesn't, then it means we could potentially still be in a bear market. We could be in a bear market, right? So I'm gonna be watching that 50 weekly EMA over the next few weeks. I'll let you guys know. Let's see. Power and Praise says he's in high leverage longs. Do you think we're gonna see pullbacks? I think we're gonna see a pullback. Yeah, I think Bitcoin's probably gonna pull back to 89K, and then we'll have a nice little bounce from there. Maximilian says, I shorted silver, Maximilian. Brave man there. Tim, what do you think about collecting pennies now? Tim, it's not a bad idea, especially 2025 pennies, because that's the last year that they're making pennies. They're not making them after this year. So they could be collectible. That's actually a very, very good point. 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, those pennies could be worth 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents. It sounds far-fetched, but look how much old... You remember those silver pennies? Those old pennies, right? 40s and 50s. Those things are going for a couple dollars now. Think about it, guys. Think if you could buy pennies 2025, the last year that they made them, and how valuable those would be, especially if you pass them down to your grandkids. Whew. And each penny's worth a couple dollars, and you purchased 1,000 2025 pennies for, well, heck, they're probably selling for more than a penny now. I'd be curious to see how much 2025 pennies are selling for on eBay. If anyone could let me know that, that'd be awesome. But not a bad idea, Tim, especially for collectors. Gabriel says, what are you doing other than trading to make money? So instead of trading, Gabriel, I also have my own group that I run. So that's bringing in income. I also, so even just little things, right? Selling things on eBay, etc. That's really small though. I mean, I rarely do that. But yeah, trading for myself, also referral links, making that as well, having my own group. What else? I'll invest in projects. So, I'll get in early into the seed rounds. That's, if you want to count that as trading, technically. I will market a lot, right? So even earning some ad revenue, you could earn that from YouTube or other sources. And also through affiliate links as well. So people who have affiliate links, maybe for my group, they use that, earn a percentage, I earn a percentage, another form of income. And then in the future, though, I'm going to start doing more things. I'm going to start doing more with ecom. I'm actually in Luke's ecom society group. I joined it. Got to support Luke. And it's a lot of good stuff in there, right? A lot of smart people in there, a lot of good live streams. And so recommend it if you guys aren't in ecom society. But it's just more ways to make passive income or active income, whatever you want to call it. But down the line, though, I'm going to invest more in stocks, specifically quantum AI and robotics. And then I'm going to invest in real estate and precious metals, renewable energy, uranium, and trying to think of a few other things. That's the big thing, right? Real estate, stocks, crypto, all big forms of investments. And like I said, if you can do referral links, that's always good, and other sources of income. But there's always ways to make money, guys. If you want to be a freelancer and post your skills on Upwork or Fiverr, right? Try to get some people to pay you. If you're a 16-year-old kid and you want to take surveys, free surveys that pay you $7 per hour to take surveys, right? You could do that. But just something you can do. Just there's always opportunities, especially now. There's no reason why people don't make money or can't make money nowadays. Let's see. Maximilian says, bro, you can still work if you want. No, you could. Absolutely, Maximilian. You could. That's why some people said both. But I think on the surface level, though, I'm sure there's some type of income you have to report in your taxes. You know what I'm saying? And so just like with welfare, you have to be under a certain annual income to get welfare. That'd probably be the same thing with UBI. You have to show you have to be under, in the poverty level, if you will say. You're not working at all to get UBI. So the minute you start working, trying to do some trading on the side, well, if you're not reporting that to your taxes, that's going to catch up to you eventually. And then they're going to say, why is this guy that's making only $4,000 per month have a Ferrari or have a Lamborghini or have a Bugatti, right? So you just got to be careful with that sense. James Hunt says, they'll keep you limited. And like Klaus Schwab said, you will own nothing and be happy. And 100% eventually get depressed. Exactly. You guys got to remember to always consider all options. Wally is going to be a real thing. Universal income leads to drugs, video games. Sounds like we have a lot of universal income around the world. We have a lot of welfare, Maximilian. We have a lot of welfare. But yes, a lot of people who are in poverty, they tend to get depressed as well. Let's see. Mystic says, I'm driving DoorDash now. That's so awesome, Mystic. Earning that money. Zalin says, what do you think about FWOG is dying this week, but it pumped around 150% in Pengu? Interesting thing about FWOG. Not too sure about that. I need to double check that. Pengu, man, Pengu needs to catch up. I was bullish on it for Q4 and it's just been dying. In alt season, no strong opinion on either at the moment. Tim, thanks, CD. I think if you held pennies 100 years, they would have outpaced inflation. Exactly. Ed says the material to make a penny is worth more than a penny. You can just buy a lot and melt them down to sell. Is illegal though. Yeah, right. Gabriel said, wait, you said $17 an hour for doing surveys? $7 per hour. I'm not sure if that is still the case, but look for online free. Let's see, how did you look at? Just look at like online paid surveys. Look at that, online paid surveys, and then you'll see some companies where you can actually take surveys, and because they pay. It's like these colleges and stuff. They pay for customer feedback because it's valuable to them, right? Actual data from real people. And so they'll pay you between, let's say, like $5 to $7 an hour. And let's say each survey pays you 50 cents or $1. And each survey takes like 5 minutes. You see what I mean? So it adds up to like 5 to 7 an hour. It's easy, yeah, but it's just monotonous. I mean, you guys got to stand in front of the screen and do, use your brain for hours on end. But like I said, you can make money. Thoughts on Tau and subnets? Tentatively bullish on those. I need to see how Tau is doing, though. I need to look at the chart. But it was doing good when AI was big just a few weeks ago. With that said, guys, let's go ahead and get to the charts real quick. S&P, huge bounce. Love to see it. At 66.30 all the way up to 68.49. The RSI is looking great. Still a lot of room to the upside. Support going to remain 66.30 and then 6,400. Gold playing this to a T, guys. We drew this on gold and literally it played to a T. You can't draw this any more perfect, guys. Now the RSI is close to crossing above the signal line again. Gold's going to all-time highs. It's moving in tandem with the S&P. Remember last time this happened? Boom. Right? Let's see. Oil futures 58, nothing crazy there, but the DXY already got to our 99.50 target. Potentially it could bounce here, which would be the reason for the pullback. Bring Bitcoin down to 89K, 88K potentially before bouncing there. Remember, there's good support near 86 to 88 in my market update. I post that. Make sure you guys read those. A lot of valuable information in there. A lot of time that I do spend on those. But if the DXY continues down, we're seeing 98.80, guys. That could be a huge level of support, but also give us much more room to the upside. So now it's going to depend on what happens on Monday. So stay tuned for that. Resistance remains $100.20. Ed says, should build an AI to take the surveys for you. Ed, if you can do that, imagine. Gabriel says, what's your target on Bitcoin next year? Ooh, Gabriel. Great question. Great question, Gabriel. That's a hard, man. That's hard. See, if you would have asked me 2-3 months ago, I would have said 250K. Now, maybe 150. If that, right? Like, if we're in a bear market, we're not reaching above all-time highs. So my brain probably says a double top near 125, most likely. If we can get up there, let's see. All right, let's see. Let's go to the overall market. So Bitcoin's at 91. Ethereum's at 3,021. Solana's at 137. Top gainers, Rain 10%, Quant 9%, Meme Core 7%, Bitcoin Cash 5.8%, Pump 5.3%. Aster's up 2.7%, trending. Zcash and Monad are down today. A couple things I want to talk about with this. Monad, it had all the attention in the world. Topped out just above 5 cents. Then it had a pullback. This is a lesson to everyone, guys. Anytime there's hyped launches, Monad, even Momentum was one I was posting about, right? Eventually it bled out. Guys, you got to be able to be cognizant of these hyped tokens and take profits as soon as possible. Now, could Monad still pump more? Absolutely. But the fact that it's come down this much tells you that, okay, maybe the hype has died down. Maybe the narrative is shifting, right? And then you had Zcash. So I know the EU is talking about cracking down more on, tracking crypto wallets, tracking for taxes, all that stuff. So in my opinion, we're going to see privacy tokens continue to gain popularity into next year. Now, Zcash may not be the main kid on the block. It could be Monero this time. It could be Rail. It could be other privacy tokens, Starknet, etc. Zero knowledge proof tokens, ZK. Or it could be something else entirely. But just keep in mind, privacy tokens and privacy swap platforms are going to be much more popular over the next few months and few years as regulatory scrutiny increases. Suquinder says, is this possible before the year Bitcoin can touch 74 or 76K? Anything's possible, Suquinder. I don't think it's going to happen this year, though. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think maybe Q2 of next year we could have a larger pullback before a big bounce. Maximilian says, got to go. Love your streams. Would love to see a video channel too. Awesome, Maximilian. Hey, appreciate you guys. And yes, thank you so much for the kindness, Maximilian. Make sure you follow me on X. I'm sure you already are at the CryptoData. But yes, I will see you later. Have a great day. Dat Crypto King says, looking for what are your thoughts on the economy in the U.S.? Do you foresee 2008? Potentially in 2026, yes. I see a big crash. And then I'll look at StarkNet in the charts as well. So let's look at the Fear and Greed Index. At 20, it's in fear. Well, it was an extreme fear. Extreme fear for nearly 2 weeks in a row. Crazy to see that. But just like with anything, it does mean revert back to the upside. Now, yes, if we're in a true bear market, we could stay at these lows for extended periods of time. I'm not saying we're not, but all I'm saying is there could be a little dead cat bounce, which we already have seen above 90K on Bitcoin. So what does that mean? Well, it just means that you always bet whenever there's a lot of fear in the market. But again, you have your indicators that also show confluence as well. So that's something to keep in mind, guys. And we'll talk about certain indicators that actually call at the bottom. Some of my custom indicators that call at the bottom. That was very good to see. So let's go to ETF flows. Bitcoin ETF flows, or Ethereum per se, was 76 million on Friday. Great to see more positive flows. But Bitcoin only had 71 million. So Ethereum is showing positive flows higher than Bitcoin. What does this mean? This means that Ethereum is starting to gain more attention. Remember what we were talking about earlier, the Fusaka upgrade December 3rd, faster scaling, cheaper gas, etc. Guys, it's happening. It's only a matter of time before we really see Ethereum pump. Suquinder says, how do you use RSI on the chart and how is it different from your other retail traders? I'll talk about this as well. Do you think Trump attacked Venezuela? I didn't know they had the largest oil reserves. James, I think Trump does it. Maduro is I think the government in Venezuela is starting to be very receptive to Trump as far as caving in. So I don't want to say for sure Trump's going to attack Venezuela, but he is positioning military personnel to do so. I think if any line is crossed, Trump's going to pull the trigger, figuratively and literally. Zalin, is it possible to have a big crash with Trump? I think he'll try everything to have a good market, isn't he? Yeah, he's trying everything he has to have a good market. Now, there's still going to be a crash. There's still been crashes with Trump this year, right? We still had a lot of different things outside of our control. Look at October 10th. Everything dropped 50 to 90%. Even people who were leveraged on 2X got liquidated. So it tells you guys, you got to be careful. You never can be too careful in this market, guys. Please, please be careful. With that said, let's look at the market. Where's Bitcoin at? What am I thinking is going to happen? Also, I'll go over a few more things. So I have this thing. I'll tell you what all this is in a minute. But my indicator here, if you look, I'm going to remove the drawings real quick. Hide drawings. Look at this. My custom indicator called the bottom. I mean, perfect. Called the bottom here. Called the top here. Called the bottom here. Called the top here. Called the bottom here. It's a great indicator, guys. In the future, I will end up giving access to this indicator in my group for people who purchase certain subscriptions, most likely the lifetime ones, but that's something I'll announce potentially around Christmas. So stay tuned, guys. I'm still fine-tuning this indicator, but it is calling the bottoms fairly good. So any of my leverage calls, a lot will be based off of this indicator. So you guys will be getting access in that sense. But if you want personal access, then yeah, I'll be offering that through my group in about a couple weeks. So Liba says, just coming to say hello. Don't have time now, but I'll watch it tomorrow. Thank you for your content. God bless you. Hey, Liba, God bless you as well. Appreciate the support, guys. Always, always love these comments. You guys, I love it. Thank you so much. Keeps me going. Always love it. But as we were talking about Bitcoin's price and where it's going, well, we had the nice little bottom. Now, where are we at from here? So let me delete this little bar chart thing here. So there's three scenarios on Bitcoin right now. One, Bitcoin breaks above 92K, 92.8K, the big resistance, and goes to 96, where then it has a rejection. Two, well, actually, I guess this was the first one here. You know, it has a little dip, then goes above. Two, it actually has a further dip down to 86K and then bounces back up, which would still make a higher low. So I think 86 to 88K is not a bad long level on Bitcoin, guys. And I say that because if you look at the stock RSI, it's overbought. We could have a little pullback here. There's two places I'm thinking we're going to have a pullback. So remember I said there's liquidity near 90K. So we could dip below 90, then reverse back to the upside, this little scenario here. Or stock RSI could fully retrace on the daily, maybe down to 50, 45, take us all the way down to 86, 87, and then bounce from there. Both scenarios are possible, okay? My little rocket indicator, along with the green X, along with this institutional flows, all three of them confluenced. We had a nice little bounce. Now, with that said, still watching what happens. Still looking at the hourly, still curving almost back to oversold on the stock RSI. The 4 hour curving down. RSI is curving down. The stock RSI is curving up. A little bit of indecision here, right? But nonetheless, that's why I think maybe even longs all the way down to 86K at low leverage, like 5x leverage. At 5x leverage, and then you could have a, let's just say a 4 hour close below 84.3K. A 4 hour close below 84.3. Ooh, actually, wait, give me a second. I would say a 4 hour close below, 84.3K. 4 hour close below there. And then you would be looking at about 25% stop loss at 5x leverage. So not bad risk reward if you got your average in at around 88K. Because 88 to 84 is 4,000, 5%. 5 times 5 is 25 if you're at 5x leverage. So yeah, that's what I would say, guys. DCing down to 86K or 86.4K is not a bad decision here. And then resistance, like I said, up to 96. Now going to Ethereum. Big resistance around this 30-40 level. Now let's even look at the Bybit chart where I have even more lines drawn. And actually, I got to put this, I told you guys I would tell you what the, there. Let me go back to Bitcoin 1 sec. Hold on. Right there. Okay, why do I have this little ghost chart here? And why does it look like it more or less played out? And where is it going afterwards? Okay, I pulled this from the 2021 data. So you can see we had a high, a low, higher high, and then bear market. High, low, higher high, potential bear market. Okay? So where would this bear market play out? Well, it would play out around 70K by August of this year. Now, what's happening in May? May, Jerome Powell is getting out of office. So May of next year. So could that be like a delayed pump eventually? Could we bottom out around there, right? What we're in right now, you could say, is the pump up to 100K. Where would 100K be? It'd be where the 50 weekly EMA is. If you look at the drawings, I'll remove them here again, guys. A lot of alpha with you guys right now. You look at the 50 EMA, we bounced, we broke through it. So now it should act as resistance, right? Look at what happened here. In 2021, boom, crossed below it. I mean, literally, same thing is happening, right? We're crossing below it, cross below it. Yeah, we could retest it as resistance, most likely. Let's just say if we play that card, then that could be like 100K. It could reject down again, maybe get down to 80K again, and then have one more pump, maybe up to 105, little fake out, boom, further bleed, all the way down to that 70K level. Not saying history is going to repeat, but it often rhymes. So that's why I said if we have a few more weeks under the 50 weekly EMA, probably a bear market starting. You see what I'm saying, guys? And this indicator is called the top multiple times as well down here. It didn't get it up here, unfortunately, but still called it beforehand. So with that said, being patient is key, but at the same time, I still believe we could have a nice little uptick. And also I have these trend lines drawn as well for SR confluence. So always got to be looking at everything, guys. Always have to be looking in at everything. Some questions. Liba, let's see. Gabriel says, John, I'm curious about a day in your life, a full-time investor. So Gabriel, I'll give you a Cliff Notes version real quick. Day in my life is, so today, for example, I woke up around 10 o'clock. I had a team meeting. So I have a weekly team meeting for my private group. We talk about the past week, results, customer retention, acquisition, features we could add, pros, cons, etc., to-do lists, etc. So 10 o'clock every Sunday, I have that. So that's what I had today. Afterwards, usually I'll have some, obviously like to drink at least a glass of water when I wake up. Always stay hydrated. I take some bee pollen. It's good for the immunity. And then from there, depending what day it is, I'll either have some live streams or I'll make some breakfast, maybe some eggs, turkey sausage, spinach, nice healthy breakfast. I like to focus on more of the high fats, low carbs. And then from there, I will usually work out. So that'll be a few hours later after I eat. In between then, I'll be focusing on my group, answer questions anyone has, look at the charts, maybe make some leverage calls if I see any, go work out maybe around 2, 3 p.m. I like to go work out before the 5 o'clock crowd, come back home, have a little meal. Usually for dinner, I'll have a steak. So organic, grass-fed beef ribeye with some spinach and eggs. And then sometimes I'll have some other carbs, maybe sweet potato or something else. And then from there, maybe during that time, I'll watch a little short show or just watch a YouTube video. And then I'll just get back to grinding again, what the group is doing, keeping track of all my other Telegram groups, my Discord groups, looking at the charts again, looking at the market, any big news items that happen, any upcoming catalysts. I'll make some Twitter posts, some Telegram posts, market update posts for Gym Hunters, my group, a few others. And then, around 11, midnight, maybe 1 in the morning, I'll go to bed, start it all over again. And that's basically it, right? So I'm mostly on the computer. I'm working out, of course. I'm taking care of myself, getting outside when I can. But, that's basically a day in the life. There's really not much else besides that. Obviously, you change a few things here and there, but that's mainly the gist of it. And then, of course, I'll still take vacation and stuff and hang out with family around the holidays. So hopefully that answers your question, Gabriel. Mystic Eve, where can we do leverage in the United States? So Mystic Eve, BloFin, actually. BloFin is a great, great place to trade if you guys haven't. And so there's also a link in the description. I know that Gym Hunters has their own BloFin link, so you can use that one. But yeah, do that. And what else? Yeah, that's the biggest thing, guys. BloFin is the easiest in my opinion. There's others as well, but BloFin's been good to me. I've been partnered with them for a while, so highly recommend them. And I believe you just have to tell them your name and where you're from, but obviously you don't have to KYC or anything. Gabriel says, very nice lifestyle. Appreciate it, Gabriel. Yeah, it's pretty relaxed. I say it's relaxed, but I'm still staying up till 1 in the morning, maybe later most days. But I enjoy it. I have freedom to travel, work from wherever. I went to Portugal to the crypto conference event just middle of November. I went over there and I was able to work, right, for a week on my laptop. And so the freedom it gives you guys, I think, is what most people want. And highly recommend it. But I will say, make sure you guys build up a good nest egg before you go full-time trading, if you go full-time trading, because it can be stressful if you don't have extra income on the side. And so I'd recommend maybe working with another crypto company while also you have your own full-time business in crypto, you full-time trading, right? So there's some source of passive income coming through, or maybe creating an e-com business, an e-com store, making a little money on the side from that, or whatever it may be, right? Just build up a nest egg. And a nest egg, I say 6 months worth of savings or of income. So if your monthly cost is $3,000 per month, then building up $18,000 as a nest egg, 6 months of that. So you can live off of that for 6 months. So you're not super stressed out, and that's going to allow you to perform at your optimal self. Okay, Sukhwinder says, can you teach us how to use the RSI better? So I actually made some videos on Gym Hunters about how to use the RSI, but let's go ahead and check it out. Also, guys, 44 viewers, only 25 likes. If you guys could like this stream, that'd be amazing. But the RSI, basically how I use it, this was a good... let me actually just maximize this here. Here's a good way I used it whenever, you can draw patterns on it, right? Like descending wedges. Okay. So this was something, again, it wasn't perfect. Not going to say it was, but something like this where you had a little descending wedge. It just broke out of it into the upside. So if you want to call it like, something like that, right? Little descending wedge. You could play that as well. Again, not perfect, but it's constricting. That's the main thing. And then it breaks out to the upside. Okay. That is something that played out perfectly because we had descending wedge, broke out, and then price is going much higher. Also, you saw a stock RSI, same thing. You had a little descending wedge, right? And so that kind of thing, or it broke to the upside, huge move higher. So being able to draw patterns on the RSI is definitely going to help you. Also, when it crosses above the signal line, that's going to be a nice little signal that you're shifting the trend, especially if it retested as support or resistance. That's a big thing as well. If you're noticing certain levels are acting as support or resistance, then you can play that to your advantage, okay? Just like, let's just say, let me see where we're at here. Yeah, I mean, just like here, right? So, yeah, the RSI was playing at support. More or less, every time it came up to this level, boom, support. Yes, it broke it here, but it came up again, resistance. Maybe it's going to be a resistance here. Or maybe you have a trend line, right? And you're drawing this little trend line here. And maybe price keeps bouncing off this area. I mean, there's just different ways you can play it. But at the end of the day, being able to read divergences, drawing descending wedges, ascending wedges, for example, when you had, this is a perfect example here. Let's go ahead and, okay, let's see if I can find a good one here. So for example, and again, this isn't 14 candles, which it should be, but nonetheless, when you have the RSI making lower highs, but you have price making higher highs, there's the bearish divergence there, and then it curves to the downside. So learn divergences on the RSI, learn how to draw descending wedges, ascending wedges, potential trend lines, support lines, etc. And that's how you can get better with the RSI. Top Shot says abundance and prosperity 888. Absolutely, Top Shot. Gabriel says, what if you go back to zero money with your knowledge now, only your PC and your phone? What are you going to do to get rich? That is a great question. So if I go to zero, do I still have my social media accounts? If I have my social media accounts like X, Telegram, etc., easily provide value with there, easily start partnering with companies, start getting some sponsorship, start getting some cash flow coming in. Obviously, it's going to be reputable companies, but nonetheless, start putting myself out there. If I have none of those and my social media is at zero and literally everything's at zero, I'm going to start building a social media profile. I'm going to start making YouTube videos, start growing my X account, providing value, see what are the alpha groups I can provide, what other value I can provide. If I don't know any of that, I'm going to learn technical analysis. I'm going to learn how to the basics, support and resistance. I'm going to watch free YouTube videos. I'm going to learn from there. I'm going to follow reputable accounts like Benjamin Cohen, Virtual Bacon, Wyckoff on Crypto. What other ones are there? A few others, right? I'm going to learn those skills, and then I'm going to share those with others. I'm going to, but again, that's only a piece of the puzzle, right? I want to earn some money. So I'm going to either A, see what I can do with AI, see how I can leverage AI to make money, and I mean, if I got to take those surveys for a little bit of money, right, I'll do that. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of free resources with AI. So see what I can do on Upwork, on Fiverr. See what tasks I can take, solve for people. See if I can sell anything on eBay, on Amazon from what I have currently. See if maybe there's any, online jobs that I can do, right? What are you smart in? What'd you go to school for? Okay. Can you get some internships? Can you get, free online jobs that someone will take you under their wing? What else? I mean, there's all kinds of sources of passive income nowadays. I would just, honestly, I would ask ChatGPT and be like, hey, give me a business plan. I'm starting from zero. I have no social media. I only have X degree, or I'm only, 17 years old, and I want to make money. I want to use AI. What's the best way to do that? And then ChatGPT will give you a detailed plan, and then you can just follow that. But yeah, you got to be able to provide value and able to grow in order to grow your social media account, in order to become valuable, in order to get those opportunities that having a large following will give you. Hey, no problem, Suquander. Glad it helped. Dat Crypto King says quantum and robotics. Which stocks in crypto to invest for 5 to 10 years? Something I can leave for the kids. Thank you for your alpha. Hey, no problem, Dat Crypto OG. So okay, I would say make sure you guys are following Smart Money Crypto. Make sure you guys are following him. He's very, very smart. This guy too. Wyckoff on Crypto is very smart too. I'm going to link him. You guys are getting a lot of alpha, and this is a thank you for always watching these live streams, guys. Much appreciated. Smart Money Crypto, great guy in the space. Great guy in the space. Okay, so follow him. He's very good with stocks and quantum stocks. So he's very good. He talked about a lot of different quantum stocks as well, but for myself, for robotics, so honestly, for stocks, Tesla's perfect. Okay. So I would say if you can get into Tesla, I mean, Tesla's always doing stuff, guys. Like, if any of you guys, literally, this is the car I have, the Model Y. Okay. If any of you guys have not been in a Tesla, literally, this is what's happening right now. 100% of self-driving. The car literally drives you everywhere. Elon had a $1 trillion pay package over the next 10 years. One of his contingencies or stipulations is bringing Tesla from a $1.5 trillion company to a $8 trillion company, nearly 6x. The stock right now is around 430. It's going to go up above 1,000. Tesla's already working in robotics. Another stipulation is with Grok, right? So Grok is also a very, very good one. And I would say pay attention. Or not Grok, but also Optimus. Optimus is a good one, right? So Optimus is a Tesla company. Tesla's working on Optimus, and you can see how much they're doing already. So yeah, Tesla's a good one for robotics, even though you don't think of them as robotics. And even Amazon. Amazon's introducing more robots. They fired 30,000 people just was a month ago, 2 months ago, to replace with robots. So Amazon's actually could be a robotics company not many people are looking at. Amazon, Tesla, what other ones? I mean, there's obviously other ones. The quantum ones, I'll keep you guys updated. I'm still narrowing down my quantum stocks that I want to buy. So something to keep in mind there. I love you, Gabriel. Appreciate the love as always. Bayo Edit says, ACD, hope it's going well. Been a while. 2 things I'm watching. BTC 1 week stock crosses and a potential 1 week head and shoulders forming. Bayo Edits, good to see you as well. It has been a while. So you were saying the 1 week stock. Let's pull it up. So, and let me go on a chart that doesn't have as much writing on it here. So the 1 week stock, yes, it's oversold. Very, very good sign, right? Things are looking good, okay? And the last time that this indicator that I have was flashing this low, just like it is now, Bitcoin went from 33.9K all the way up to new highs. But again, you have to ask yourself, I mean, technically, haven't we already played this out? Or if we shift our mindset here, let's play a little mind games. Is this only this, right? Let's play a little thought experiment here, okay? So let me go from, I mean, again, it's hard to actually say this, but is this? You see what I'm saying? Is this possible? I mean, that's possible. Goes up, comes all the way back down, and then comes all the way back up. This is possible too. Now you were saying a head and shoulders pattern on the 1 week. Let's look, see if we see a head and shoulders pattern. Now, if you're talking about this here, where let's go, let me know, Bayo, if this is the head and shoulders you're talking about. I mean, it's not horrible, right? I mean, if you're talking about here where it's like the left shoulder, the head, and then maybe the right shoulder here, because the left shoulder went down to here, it's going down to here, then yeah. So very possible, right? And if that's the case, and we're basically now in the right shoulder forming, and we're going all the way up to, let's say, I need to make these more realistic, and I'll just bring this all the way down, right? If we're doing something like this, and you're saying it goes up to 108K, which would also be previous support September 1st, very possible. Very, very possible, yes. And the thing that's interesting too is we'd cross above the 50 weekly EMA, which would be a perfect fake out. So anything is possible at this point. But having certain scenarios in play, because at the end of the day, trading is a game of probabilities, statistical probabilities. You're never going to win 100% of the time. But if you win 60, 70% of the time, that's like some of the best traders, their results. And so, yeah, it's very, very possible we could see a little bounce up on the right shoulder and down. Not bad analysis, Bayo Edits. Not bad analysis at all. Very interesting. I'll keep that in mind. I will keep that in mind. All right, let's see what else we got. MDZ, hey Data, hope you're doing well. Bit off topic, but do you mind rapidly going over Euro USD? Love your lives. Keep up the great work. Hey, appreciate you, MDZ. Of course, I'll go over it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Euro USD. All right, let's go. Let's see, can we get a little daily chart going? Ooh, indicator's not too bad with it. Okay. Let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and see. All right, so Euro USD. Big levels to watch. 113, 118. Now, let's see. I'm trying to look at this downtrend here, if it's really a strong downtrend or not. I would say just be mindful of the stock RSI curving to the downside, the RSI curving to the downside. It still technically has some room to go. Not saying it doesn't, but look at this daily 50 EMA acting as a little resistance here, okay? That's the only thing I'd be worried about here, because you can see it was acting as support all over here, and then it broke below, acted as resistance, 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 resistance. So if I were you, MDZ, I would be waiting until a retest of 114. At the very least, I'd be waiting. Or, I mean, you could say get above, but I mean, you had a little fake out here, so that could be a fake out if you get above, right? That's the only thing. I mean, technically, you could say it is maybe a little pennant forming. Maybe you could say here, right? Something like that is forming. But, I mean, that's... And then maybe it'll break out here to the upside, maybe. But just be mindful. I mean, I would, if I was on the safe side, I wouldn't bid until 114. And if you don't catch it, you don't catch it. But at the end of the day, it's all a game of statistical probabilities. RSI, stock RSI looks to be curving to the downside now, maybe a little bit more. 50 EMA is acting as resistance, maybe a little cool off, and then go higher. And especially this indicator here that I have at the bottom is a little topped out. So, yeah, that's my only hesitation. Shogun says, I'm back testing a new strategy. I've taken 20 swing trades, 80% win rate. When would you recommend actually putting my own money in these trades? 150, 200 or more? Thanks. So, first, congratulations, Shogun. That's awesome. Minimum, bare minimum, 50 trades. At 50 trades, if it's still 80% or say 75, I'd feel more comfortable taking that. 100 is the key level. If you can get to 100 trades at 75, 80%, that's amazing. At that, I'd do those trades all day. Yeah, 100 trades. 100 would be your sweet spot there. 50 minimum, but 100 is where you go. MDC says, yeah, my analysis tell me to short own to 114. I'll see how it plays out and update you in your next trip live. Awesome, MDZ. Appreciate it. Hey, no problem, Shogun. All right, real quick, guys, since the stream is already an hour, let's quickly go over some ETH and Solana analysis. I'll go over Monad as well, and then we'll end it there. So ETH daily stock RSI is overbought. It's at 30.30 right now. ETH is actually in between these. Let me take this thing off real quick. It's in between these levels here. Okay, this 29.30 to 30.50. If Ethereum can close the daily above 30.50, it's going to 32.70. If not, I'd look to buy near 29.30 to 28.20. Some good support there. And then major support near 26.50, 26.70. If you can get Ethereum near 26.70, that is a golden level, guys. Golden level to a long. It's a nice little trend line support. So at the very least, I would say maybe DCA down Ethereum down to 29.30. And then if it breaks below that, closes below that on the daily, I'd wait till 28.20. And if it closes below that, then I'll wait for 26.80, 26.70, okay? That'd be my thought process on Ethereum. Ethereum may not be good, may not be bad for a long here. My only apprehension is the stock RSI is overbought. Maybe have a little cool off here. The 4 hour though, somewhat looking like it wants to curve up, right? Not too bad. But at the same time, I'd like for these indicators to be a little bit lower before I committed. So that's my thing. I'd play some longs near 29.30, maybe a little bit lower, see if you can catch a wick below, and then go from there because it has been pretty good support. And then Solana. Solana could be forming low double bottom here. And I say that because you can see on the chart. And actually, let me go back to Ethereum. I think I had to put that. Let me put the bar charts here. Because this bar chart is what I was referring to. I believe it was... where did I get this from? Believe I got it from, oh yes, the Pectra upgrade. So yeah, so remember we got the Fusaka upgrade December 3rd, and then the Pectra upgrade was May 7th. This is what happened afterward. Remember, we had those two big green candles here. And so, actually, I believe that was on the 2-day chart. Yeah, we had these big green candles here. And so, if we look and extrapolate that based off the current data, that would mean that those big green candles are going to come December 5th, 2 days after the Fusaka upgrade. History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes, right? These pumps lag by a few days, boom, Ethereum starts going. Maybe, and look where it bottomed out at. Whoops, near 29.30. If you see this fractal here, okay? So that's why I say, guys, be patient and let price come to you. Okay, what else we got? No problem, Shogun. Gabriel with the crying emoji. Zalin, what does the crown mean? The crown. The crown, the crown, the crown. Where's the crown at? Show me the crown, Zalin. I have so many things open. Okay. But yeah, that's what I'm saying for Ethereum. So bet near 29.30, maybe a little bit lower. And you can see from there. Oh, next to the YouTube name in the chat. Oh, the crown means people who have been here for a while. They're top fans. The crown means people who are top fans. Yeah. So the more you guys join these chats and participate, the sooner you'll get a crown. It's automatic. I'm not giving it to you guys. It's just automatic. So I can tell who's been regulars, and I recognize the names, even people who don't have a crown. But eventually you guys should get one as well. So yeah. So talking about that with Ethereum, and then Solana. Like I said, with Solana, potentially double bottom here, maybe going down again to 125, 130, and then bouncing from there. The stock RSI is overbought, but this RSI is looking a little good for a bounce. And so if Solana gets anywhere near 130, I think it's an automatic long here. 125 to 130, automatic long for Solana. Still looking good on the daily. The 4 hour, could be better, but not the worst either. About mid, right? So yeah, Solana is a little bit more iffy. It's in the mid-range at 137. I would just be careful trading it right here. I'd much rather prefer 130 to 125 if we could. So that's my analysis. Resistance, 145, big resistance. We called it in the last stream, rejected perfectly. Next, 155, then 167. Again, I'm patient for 130. So with that said, guys, what do you think about Useless and Aster? Trend flow. No thoughts about Useless. Aster, I would buy Aster maybe near $1. $1.91. I'd buy it only spot only. I wouldn't leverage trade Aster. It's way too volatile. Way too volatile. But yeah, $1.91. Those look both. MDZ, I see the RSI retest the yellow line. Then from there, a bounce for Sol. Very well could happen, right? Down to 36 here. Very well could happen. I mean, the RSI, if we're talking about Sudwinder as well, you know, rejection, and then maybe support here. That's the thing you got to look for as well is when it tests, just like here, right? Support, and then it broke through it, and it was kind of below it for a while, okay? So look whenever you see these signal lines acting as support or resistance. It's a real thing. But cool. Yeah, possibly retest, exactly. But with that, guys, I think that is going to do it. I thought someone else asked me about a coin to look at. I'm trying to see. Let's see. Yeah, Jojo asked me about Monad. I said I'd go over that for a second. Let me just, let's see. So Monad obviously had a nice little Eiffel Tower pattern there. I mean, stock RSI. So Monad may pump here, actually. We're getting a little rocket indicator on the 4-hour. Stock RSI was oversold. Now curving to the upside. This is on BloFin, mind you. I mean, if we find it on an exchange that has more data, let's see. Well, would KuCoin have it? Or maybe MEXC, CoinX. Maybe CoinX would have it. Did Coin? No way. This is a different Monad. Yeah. Let's do KuCoin. Maybe this was in pre-trading. Either way, the Monad on BloFin. This is, yeah, perpetuals here. All right, so here we go, spot. Okay, this is the chart I'm gonna stay with. But yeah, like I said, Monad could be near bottom here. So I'd have to go the 1-hour support 2.6, resistance around 3, and then 3.3 and 3.8. That's what I'd say for Monad here. So maybe wait until it gets to 2.7 again, buy it there. The indicator at the bottom for the people who are still watching, since you guys get some alpha here, is called Black Cat L3 Banker Fund Flow Trend Oscillator. Great indicator to have, guys. Just search L3 Banker Fund Flow. Great indicator on TradingView. So thank you to everyone watching right now. Zalon says, can we see FWOG? Yeah, I'll go look at FWOG real quick. So FWOG is showing some resistance here at the 50 EMA. Now, yes, it did pump today. Congrats for anyone that was holding it. But resistance near 50 EMA, maybe, I mean, it's going to be close. If it can't hold the 1.5 cents on the daily, then at the very least, I'd be looking for 1 cent at the very least. Because you can see this 50 EMA sometimes acts as resistance, so just keep that in mind. But indicator-wise, stock RSI is overbought, curving to the downside. I'd just be careful with FWOG right now. 4-hour, 4 hours curving to the down. So a little bit of mixed sentiment here, but if the daily can close above 1.6 cents, I'd feel much more confident in FWOG, but still, it's just, I hate the stock RSI. It needs to reset just a little bit, in my opinion. So on that point, I'd be waiting for 1 cent. Suk Winder with the capital letters signaling urgency in his question about Pippin. Suk Winder, if you tell me why you placed your trade and why you placed your short, then I could help better analyze the reason. He says he placed a short on Pippin. I mean, Pippin's showing some pretty crazy. Not bad. I mean, it seems like it should top out pretty soon, right? Pippin definitely seems like it should top out pretty soon. So if it doesn't top out now, probably 17.7 cents will be the next top out. But yeah, I mean, daily indicators are way oversold or way overbought. Here's way overbought. Yeah, I would say take some profits near 12.5 cents. 12.5 cents is good. It has a major divergence. You have bearish divergence on the RSI. RSI making lower highs, price making higher highs, bearish divergence there. Yeah, I mean, there's so many top indicators for Pippin. It's not a bad short there, Suk Winder. So take some profits at 12.5, and then after that, let's see what else we got. Maybe 7.8. Before 7.8 though, do we have any other important levels? I would say 9.5. So like 12.5, 9.5, and 7.8. Maybe some levels to watch for Pippin on the short. But yeah, definitely take profits along the way though. I wouldn't wait all the way until 12.5. Definitely take some profits along the way. But yeah, that's what I look at. Sugar Dice, what's going on with the gym icon? Good to see you here, Sugar Dice. A lot of good people from my grouper here. I'd love to see it. Yeah, I'll look at XRP real quick. All right, so this will be the last one I look at here. So XRP. Ooh. Yeah, XRP, I'd say good support near around 211, 212. Below that, $2 psychological. And then below that, 178. Stock RSI is still overbought. It's overbought for a lot of indicators or a lot of tokens, guys. So I would just be mindful of that. Now, the stock RSI is winding up here. It's oversold. Looks like it really wants to break to the upside, though. I would look for a break of the RSI on the signal line here. It looks like it's acting as resistance, like we were talking about earlier with MDZ. Signal line as resistance. And so, yeah, XRP is just very, very weird, honestly. Like, it's just, the price action is very weird. If you literally want, I mean, it's in this little channel here, right? In this little channel between 225 and 215. So whichever one it closes below on the 4-hour, that's where it's going most likely. Because there is support on the 50 EMA on the 4-hour. So if it breaks that support, if it closes the 4-hour below 215, I'd look for at least 211, if not much lower. But if it bounces, we could be seeing at least 225, and it closes above the 4-hour, above 225. I'd be looking for 235. Hopefully that answers your question. But with that, guys, if you haven't liked the stream, please like it. I appreciate all of you guys. Hopefully this helped you out. Again, a lot of stuff coming. Quantitative tightening is ending tomorrow. Make sure you watch Jerome Powell's speech at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Fusaka upgrade December 3rd. Sorry, I have it on my X account. If you guys haven't followed me on X at the CryptoData, definitely appreciate it if you guys do that. Also, check my pinned messages. A lot of stuff I have, a lot of Black Friday deals I have going on, as well as we have the PCE data December 5th and December 10th, the FOMC meeting, 88% chance of a cut as well. Also, if you guys haven't joined the free Gym Hunters group, links in the description. The paid Gym Hunters group is linked in the description. 1 Ethereum for a yearly subscription. The BloFin links, Photon links are also there if you guys haven't used them. Like I said, guys, appreciate all of the love. Appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great weekend. Have a great rest of the week. Talk to you guys soon. See ya.